Cool.
Let's see, waiting on the notification for the timer. Okay, I think we are live now.
We live. All
Yep, yep, we are live.
right. All right.
Okay,
Cool.
hey, this is
Cool. Cool.
Thurman, Clean Freaks Podcast. Thank y'all for joining us via Facebook. We have, excuse me, Antoine, and from Two Brothers Cleaning, and he's going to give us his experiences on his experiences as being an entrepreneur and a cleaning business owner. And if you would tell us your name and maybe the name of your business and a little bit about yourself.
My name is Antoine Shirley. I'm the owner along with my brother Fred Shirley. The name of the company is Two Brothers Cleaning Services. We've been in business for about 13 years. December 9th will be 14 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been in the business for a while. That's awesome, then.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. All the ups and
Uh,
downs, man. You know how that goes.
and also, I know when we was talking previously that you are also a business. I mean, you're other entrepreneurs in real estate as well.
Yep. I flip
Hmm.
homes here and there. When I can find a good deal, I go after it. You know what I mean? And it all came from, the cleaning. Taking the money that I earned from cleaning and investing it in something else, just giving them multiple streams of income. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's
Yes,
awesome. I got
sir.
another brother that's
Yes,
he's
sir.
also a member as well. That's he does the same thing too.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man, that is really awesome, man. And in your cleaning business, well, first, what gave you the idea of starting your business?
Um, it's funny because what happened was my mom, she had a friend, and the friend was a real estate agent. And the real estate agent called my mom like, "Oh, I need somebody to clean this building out and this, that, and the third." And remind you, I was on a trash truck at the time. So
Hmm.
me and my brother was like, "Yo, we'll clean it out. How much work could it really be?" So not knowing it was a 3 unit apartment building. So we said,
Mm.
"All right, we'll do it." So we went up, we went over. She's like, "Well, how much you gonna charge me?" So I'm like, "Oh, we could really make some bank here." So I'm like, "Give us $125 a floor." And I'm like, she's like, "Done." She jumped on it right away. So I'm like, "All right." So we knocking it out. We're taking everything. And then mind, I ain't have no broom. I had to borrow my mom's broom and dustpan. I had nothing. So we went over
Hmm.
there. We got it up. We sat all the trash out on the front porch. We called her up like, "Hey, we're done." She comes over. She's like, "Oh no, you gotta take that trash with you." We're like, what are we supposed to do with it? She's like, "I don't know what you're gonna do with it, but you gotta take it." So long story short, we end up having to pay the dump fees. I didn't know we had to take the trash with us. So it ended up costing us like 1200 to get the job done, which we was only in there like 375. We only made 375 and it cost us like 1200. So at that point, my brother was on fire. And I was like, "You know what? I see something with this. I see something with this." So, we just
Hmm.
kept running it. And from there, we came up and we was like, "Yo, we just named it Two Brothers Cleaning." And we went from there. And 13 years later, here we are from that story right there.
So like you learned something really fast, huh?
Right. Oh man. Right from the first day, we learned, you know what I mean? Know what you're doing, or you're gonna lose a lot of money in this business.
Quickly.
Yeah.
That's right. And what services do you offer in your cleaning business?
Um, In the beginning, we offered, I'm talking about everything. We did carpet, we would come and clean your sofas. And now that we have years in, our main niche is commercial. We do commercial janitorial. We also do
Hmm.
stripping and waxing. We do carpets here and there, not many. The jobs have to be pretty big for us to take it. We do some residentials for
Hmm.
property complex. Other than that, we try to stay away from, the maid services and stuff like that. But we're mainly the commercial janitorial. That's our main thing right there.
Same here. Same here. I know
Yeah,
we do a little bit of residential, but it's so detailed and so time
yeah,
consuming. Yeah, at least for us, at least.
yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
so
And you got the
time
people right
consuming.
on your back, and it just
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes it's just not worth it to me, man. And not that it's not good money, because it's good money if you don't mind that part of it. But
Hmm.
that just wasn't for us. You know what I mean? that wasn't
Hmm.
for us. So we moved on from that.
That's awesome. Also, man, I like your logo. I see that it's in the back, and you see you repping that, and
Yeah,
that's a beautiful thing.
yeah. Everywhere I go, man, if ain't nobody gonna know who you are if you ain't repping it. You know what I
That's
mean? You
right.
got to be your biggest supporter sometimes. You know what I mean?
Is that something that's also important to you? Is branding or your brand? Is that important as well?
Um, it is important because I feel like your name is everything. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And in the beginning of our years, we was handing out cards, handing out flyers, doing this and doing that. And now, when I walk around, people, yo, that's the two brothers guy. Yo, that's this guy. Oh, that's the cleaning guy. And one time I was in a Wawa here, and I heard a kid. I didn't even see the kid. I just heard a kid and say, "Mom, that's the carpet guy." And I turn around and I did their carpet some time back. And it's just your name is everything. So when you do good work, you know that's your brand all in itself. So people would see, oh yeah, this guy, he knows what he's doing and he's serious about who he is. And your name is everything. If you give out sloppy work, your brand is tarnished. You know what I mean? But when you do
Hmm.
good work, as far as your logo, and even with your logo, your work as well is your brand. You know what I mean? And how you uphold yourself is your brand as well.
That's awesome, man. I see that, and I enjoy watching your videos and getting
Appreciate it.
encouragement by that, man. And it makes you feel like we're in a community,
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
that's awesome, man. To definitely
Appreciate it.
be a part of that, man, and to
Yeah.
experience it as well.
Yeah, and I love, man, I love what you're doing. I love seeing other um cleaning companies, janitorial companies. I don't care what part you do in this industry. I just love it all because we're so downlooked in this industry
Mhm.
that people would say, "Oh man, they're just janitors." Nah, bro. It's this is a serious industry and it's a billion-dollar industry that people don't know about. But
That's
once you
right.
get in it, you're like, man, I ain't know it was this kind of money in it. I did not,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? So I love to see people doing well, man. I love to see people doing well in this industry.
Me too. I do too. I love me too. I
Yeah,
love to see people winning. Love to see that, and that's an awesome thing. It really
yeah.
is. Uh-huh. I'd like to ask you if nothing proprietary or anything like that, but
All right.
what are some of your niche things that you do to find accounts?
To find accounts, 50% of our work come from, subcontracting. We link up with
Hmm.
a lot of national accounts. And they look in our area and we're the go-to company for a lot of national accounts in our area. That's
Hmm.
50%. The other 50% we use some cold callers, we use word of mouth, and the rest, I would say about 30% of our business comes from just passing it on, word of mouth, having good services. So they say, oh, every business owner probably knows another business owner, right? So
Oh
they
yeah.
say, this guy's good over here. So when their friend's cleaner messes up, 9 out of 10,
Hmm.
we're gonna get that call because we're doing good in their building. So we just bounced around from building to building from that. A lot of building owners, networking, just stuff like that.
I see that. I think we have a lot of similarities in our businesses.
Hmm.
We too probably around about 50% we do national
Right.
contractors, and I tell people that it can be money be made.
Oh
Definitely,
yeah.
work
Oh
is
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So
And I had a lot of people tell me, "Oh, I don't want to do subcontracting. Well, whatever you want to do is fine with you. This is what we do."
mhm.
And like I said, we've been in business going on 14 years. So
That
it's
says a
working
lot.
for us. You know what I mean?
That
So
says a lot.
and it's when you see one or two accounts, but when you have over
Mhm.
30 to 35 accounts like we have, we're talking something different. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
it's money in the long run, not really the short game. Um, so I'm a fan of subcontracting, and that's just me. I see the money in it. I see the value in it because once you create that partnership with them, yeah, they're going to
Hmm.
get their cut, and that's the name of the game. But when you're the go-to guy, you get
Hmm.
all the accounts. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
it's so many different services you could get with one account, and you're
Hmm.
talking scrubbing recoats, stripping and waxing, janitorial, windows, high dusting, detailing, and you're talking across the board money for each individual item that you have to get signed off on, which accumulates to a lot of money. So although you're not the main contract holder, you're
Hmm.
still responsible for getting the work done, and which you're paid handsomely if you're that go-to company.
I agree 100% right about that.
Yeah.
And I try to tell people, if they new to the business and they don't go the franchise route, that
Hmm.
may be something to consider.
Yeah. Oh
Especially
yeah.
being new.
Oh yeah. And if you're new, um, I have a lot of people that I speak to, and I tell
Hmm.
them, listen, don't go the route of knocking on doors, making calls because you don't know the business, and then you're going to get
Hmm.
into a bunch of businesses on your own to where your name now could become bad. Whereas though if you get with these national companies, they could walk you through the whole system, and even if you mess up, they're going to say, hey, they're going to send you an email or send you a call, hey, could you do it like this, or they want it like this, and you just build that network of getting help, and through the years you already know what you got to do once they send you more and more accounts. But when you're on these contracts on your own, sometimes they're not
Hmm.
going to give you that helping hand to say they're expecting you to know what you're doing right from the beginning.
That's correct. 100%. I agree.
Right.
Because they're paying their money. They're paying their
Yeah,
money and they're expecting something.
exactly. And they
Hmm.
deserve it. They deserve to have somebody that they want in there that you're supposed to know what you're doing. But with these national companies, they sort of have people on staff that could help you and walk you through all the way from the invoicing to the scope of work that you're supposed to be doing. And when something's
Hmm.
not done right, they don't necessarily, the store manager won't reach out to you per se, but they might reach out to them, and then they're going to reach out to you and tell you, hey, this is how undercontractors do it, or this is how such and such do it. So you'll get it's like a stepping stone until you're able to learn everything and then go out on your own and land contracts that way.
Agree 100%. That's awesome advice, brother. That's really good
Yeah,
advice that you're
definitely.
giving. Yes. What services do you plan to add to the future, in the future to your company?
Um, I've been looking into a few street sweepers, the parking lots.
Oh man,
Um,
okay.
yeah, I've been looking into a few of them. Um,
Hmm.
pretty much we've downsized. Like I said, we used to do everything, and that's just coming in. You just wanna land accounts. When you first start, man, you
Yeah.
just want some work. It don't even matter, man. I don't care what I'm doing. I'm gonna come and do it. And then now, like I said, we have a small list of things that we do. But I feel like once you find your niche and you become good at that, and you market that
Hmm.
across the board, you're going to get those calls, and you know what those calls are for. You know what I mean? It's not, I wonder what I have to do over here. I wonder, and when I get this call, it's for strictly janitorial, or it's for strictly windows, or it's for strictly deep cleaning. And I know guys that strictly all they do is scrub and recoats. They don't do anything but scrub and recoat. They're not going to strip and wax the floor, but they're coming scrub and recoat. So once you find your niche, you know
Hmm.
exactly what it is that you want to do. But the parking lot game is something that I always wanted to get into. But the price of the
Hmm.
machines, you're talking a pickup truck almost. You know what I
Oh
mean?
really?
So
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But the investment to doing it is is out of this world. You know what I mean? So that's something that we're looking into adding into what we're doing.
Can't wait to see that in the
I
future.
appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Can't wait to see that. Be looking forward to seeing that in the
yeah.
future.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. And one thing I know is I see, your for those that may not know, though, that's watching, um, social media. How do you use your social media to add value to your business?
Um, what I do with my social media, I really don't need it for accounts and landing
Hmm.
accounts and that per se, but I use it to go back to what you said earlier, branding. You
Oh
see
yeah.
on my page, you see what I'm about. I'm either cleaning or I'm working out. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And that's what my brand is. Either this guy is cleaning or he's working out, and that's what I promote. Either anything positive is what I try to preach, which goes with my brand as far as I'm just a guy that's gonna go and get it. I don't have no excuses. I don't take excuses. I don't like excuses. It's just go and get it. By any means necessary, go and get it. And that's pretty much how I use my social media. So when you see me on social media, that's the vibe that you're gonna get. You're gonna get high energy. You're gonna get, man, this guy never stops working. And that's the message that I want to put out through my social media platforms is just go and get it. No matter what, just go and get it. You know what I mean?
That's real, and that's definitely the vibe that I know I definitely get, man.
Yeah,
Definitely,
yeah, 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 yeah. That's what
definitely
and
go
that's what
get
I
it.
try, man. That's what I try. I try to high energy because you never know who's having a bad day, who's
Yeah.
just not feeling it. And then you come onto my page and you see me, you hear the music and you see me going and I'm out here cleaning or I'm in the gym and you're like, you know what, man, this dude is doing it. Let's go. Let's go. Because you have bad moments, but you can't take a bad
Mhm.
moment and always make it a whole bad day. That's a long time to have a bad moment throughout a whole day.
That's
Nah, so
right.
look at my page. If you on my page, just take some motivation from it and let's go. Let's go.
That's awesome, man. Very encouraging. I know, like you said, sometimes we do have bad days, and you can
Yeah,
see and go to someone else's page and see and get encouragement for that. So
yeah,
definitely, man.
definitely. Definitely. And I hope people use my page for that. You know what I mean? If they don't do it for anything else, I hope they use it for that. Just some encouragement to keep going and be a go-getter.
And I definitely ask those that's watching, and as part of our group to follow your Instagram and the things
Appreciate
that
it.
you're
Yeah,
doing, man. Definitely get
appreciate it.
encouragement out of that and learn a lot and learn something in the process.
Definitely. I
Learn
appreciate it,
something in
man.
the
I
process.
appreciate it.
Yes. What would you tell like your younger self, your younger you, maybe the 18-year-old you, the 20-year-old you? What would you tell your younger self to maybe to do different or do the same? What would you tell yourself?
If I could tell myself anything, it would be again to go and get it. Don't
Hmm.
hesitate. Whatever you put your mind to, it can happen, but you got to know it's going to take work. You know what I mean? And some people they want this, but they're afraid to do that. You know what I mean? So those two don't go hand in hand. So if you're going to go get it, go and get it. Learn what you need to learn and go after
Hmm.
it. You know what I mean? Because there's no limit. And I feel like every industry, if money is what you're chasing, you could go do anything and make money. You know what I
Right.
mean? So money can't be your focal point on what you're trying to accomplish in life. It has to be building a brand, which equates to more than money. Because if you have a good brand, you're automatically going to make the money. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
if I had to tell my younger self anything, it would just be to go and get it. Whatever it is you're trying to do, go after it. Go after it. And that's the same thing I tell my kids. Don't wait. Don't wait because what are you waiting for? You're waiting for what?
Amen.
Because if you say, "Oh, I'm gonna wait till I make $5,000 or $10,000," all right, what if $5,000 or $10,000 never come? What do? You know what I mean? Now you're 25, 30, and then you're 35, 40, and you're still waiting on that 10 grand. Whereas though
That's
if you
right.
was 20, 25, and you just went after and did whatever it needed to do to be what you wanted to be, by the time you're 30, you're there. You're almost there. And you're learning. And if you're not there money wise, you're learning the experience. And experience sometimes is a lot more than money. A lot more than
Priceless.
money. And like I said, we learned from our first job, we lost money.
Hmm.
And 14 years later, we're where we're at because of that first job. And you know what I mean? The experience is everything. And like I said, I would say just to go after it. Just to go after it, whatever it is. Whatever it is, go after it.
That's awesome. That's great advice, man. That's really awesome. Great advice. And also to go with that, what were some of your biggest challenges that you face, maybe getting started, midway, and today, and where you are today?
I would say get some of my biggest challenges would be getting out of my own way.
Mm,
Um, I'm a hands-on guy
mm,
all the way. I'm a hands-on guy. I feel like years ago I used to be like, man, get out the way. If you ain't gonna do it, I'll do it myself.
yeah.
And what I learned is you gotta build a team. And if you don't build that team, you're never gonna grow in this industry because you can't do every account by yourself. So it's all about building that team and being solid with everybody and everybody having an understanding of what the goal is. And once you do that, then you're set. But my biggest thing was have always been, and even now I get in my own way because I'm like I said, I'm such a go-getter. And if you're moving too slow, I'm out. I'm going to go do it myself. And I gotta get out of my own way in order to get where I'm trying to go. But that's one of the biggest struggles. And everybody say, hey man, just sit down. Go sit down. And I'm on go all the time. You know what I mean? Like I'm always on go because that's just what kind of personality, that's what kind of vibe that I bring. Like, listen, let's go. What we doing? Like, what's the next move? Let's go. Oh, you got this job? All right, let's go. Yo, you know what? I'm gonna go clean the toilets for you. And even though I'm the owner, I pull my sleeves up and I go clean the toilets for these guys because I want them to see if I'm the owner and I could do it.
Hmm.
But at the same time, I got to learn how to scale back to, like I said, get out of my own way. You know what I mean? And let that team do what they supposed to do. So sometimes my energy just gets me caught up and I just gotta step back. So I just gotta get out of my own way. That's one of the biggest struggles for me.
I think a lot of us find that as entrepreneurs and business owners, I think
Hmm.
a lot of us find that definitely we had to get our own way.
Yeah,
Myself, when I was younger, more now I'm getting a little bit more gray hair.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
I learn,
And that's
yeah,
that wisdom though. That's that wisdom though.
exactly, yeah.
That's that wisdom.
Um, and the one thing, and to go with that, like for as employees, how long?
Hmm.
What do you recommend as far as hiring employees, or how long would it take you before you you hired your first employee?
Um, well, we had it was my best friend. And
Hmm.
when I, like I said, years ago, I was on a trash truck when we first started. And my brother was a behavioral specialist for a children's home. Um, so when we was just doing houses. So I would do my trash route and then we would go and do houses. So when I landed my first commercial account, that was a Ross.
Mm.
So I was so hyped. And I remember the lady called me. And when she called me, man, I hopped off the back of that trash truck just to answer the call, trying to catch my breath to sound like I was in an office or something, just so I could try to sound professional. And I'm like, hello. And she's telling me I landed the account that I want to do it. This I'm like, heck yeah, I want it. Yeah, let's go. So I had to make a decision on do I stay with the job or do I go
Mhm.
clean? So I stayed on the job, and my best friend he went and did the account for me. So he was doing accounts long before I even got out of the got off of the truck. So I call them partners because I don't hate it, but I don't use the word employees. You know what I mean? But I just feel like my guys they don't like it and I don't like it neither. And I'd rather look we're partners in this because without them, um, I'm nothing, and without me, they're nothing. So it's a whole partnership, and we all have a role to play. You know what I mean? But as far as landing employees, Indeed is good. Um, I went through the whole hire all your family, hire all your friends. I went through that,
Yeah.
and everybody had an opportunity, and it was no bad blood. I had no bad blood. I had nothing bad to say about anything that came and went. Um, One thing I learned, cleaning ain't for everybody.
Oh yeah. Oh
This,
yeah.
cause just cause you straighten up your bedroom don't mean you can go and push a dust mop. It's a different ball game. So, but hiring is an ongoing process. And anybody in this industry that's going to be in it for the long term, just know you're always going to be hiring. Always going to be hiring and looking for good help and looking for steady help. And you might find somebody good, but they're not consistent. You might find
Mhm.
somebody that's not good, but they're gonna be there every day. So you gotta pick a balance of, who you want to partner with and be in these buildings because that's just the name of this industry is just finding people that, you know what I mean, that you could gel with and say, all right, this is my team and build that solid relationship with everybody.
That's awesome. That's really very great advice.
Hmm.
Yes, everybody, and that's good. And I like that. I love that about the partners,
Oh
the
yeah.
employees.
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't try. I don't necessarily like that term. Sometimes we use techs or team members, but
Right.
you're right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
And I was around a guy in a store one time and he introduced the guys that worked for him, he introduced, hey yo, that's my employee. I'm like, well,
Mm.
they ain't got a name. They don't like what's their name? Like you can't just go around calling people employee like they're a
Hmm.
lesser. You know what I mean? And I just felt like, a partner, or like you said, a tech, it makes that person feel more like they're a part of what y'all doing than just an employee. You know what I mean? And I mean, if you don't have no problem being called an employee, that's cool too. But the way we operate, we don't call each other that. You know what I mean? Because I
Hmm.
feel like they're more than just an employee. They're partners, man, and we're in this together.
That's all. That's good. I remember one of our conversations. You was telling me about that. Your partners. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yep.
explained. I remember that conversation,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
and
Yep.
and that says a lot. That that definitely says a lot for us. The respect that you have for for your teams, for your
Oh yeah.
staff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for your
And
partners.
we're like a family, man, because your team is everything. And I drive that into people that start in cleaning companies all the time. If
Hmm.
you don't build that solid team, man, you're not gonna grow. You're not gonna grow. And when they see, all right, this guy's the owner, and he's still out here getting it with us, they're gonna respect that. Oh,
Hmm.
and he calls us partners, they're gonna respect that. And because they're men, they're women, they're not just peons doing a job, man. There's
Yeah,
somebody's parent, there's somebody's niece, there's somebody's uncle, there's somebody's something. You know what I mean? And I just feel like respect is everything. Even if the person works for you, you pay them, you still show them the respect as a man or a woman. You know what I mean in this world, and that goes a long way when you call them partner or you call them by their name and they could see that they belong, you know what I mean, versus it just being a business relationship. It's like, oh man, this guy, he really cares. You know what I mean? He really feels as though I'm part of this thing.
that's real. That's definitely
Definitely,
respectful and commendable. That's really real.
definitely.
One other question I'd like to ask you is if you feel comfortable speaking of what are three things in business that or any number amount that you regret, wish you could do over again, or that that you regret in business?
hmm Business, one, I wish I started earlier.
Amen to
I
that.
say earlier. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Knowing what I know
Yeah.
now, and like I said, years ago, the janitor itself was almost frowned upon. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and and on my page, I try to get fly for him, man, to show like, listen, man, I'm the new age janitor. Yeah, and I am a
Hmm.
janitor. And I tell people, say, what do you do? I'm a janitor, and yeah, I dress like this, and yeah, I got a gold chain, and yeah, I got the watch, but I'm a fly janitor, man. And I wish I started earlier, knowing what I know now. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, um, the second thing I regret, I would say again, not getting out of my own way earlier in
Hmm.
my career. Come 13 years in, and well, we're about to be 14 years in, and just a few years ago, I started understanding that I do need a team, and I do need a solid gel ship of everybody on a group to build this thing to where I need it to go. Um, the third thing I would say is, and I wish I invested earlier, and that's
Hmm.
outside of the cleaning industry. But I wish I started investing in real estate. Really got serious with multiple streams of income, and I understand it now. Um,
Hmm.
but had I been a little earlier with it, who knows where I would be at today? But
Yeah.
it's all a learning curve. But those are three things that I regret. It's just a lot of it is time. It's time. Had I knew what I knew now, I would probably be well off by now. But I'm still in a good space, so um, I don't regret really too much. But those are three things I wish I just started earlier in the main thing. So
Same here. Me too. Me
yeah,
too. Definitely wish I'd have started. Well, it started a little earlier. I started in my mid 20s. I think 24 or so, 25,
okay.
like that. And 20 years, 22, 23, 24 years later.
Still, and just imagine, them few years would take you, you know what I mean, to the moon and back, probably because of the knowledge that you get in a short
Hmm.
amount of time in this industry can really take you far.
That's right. One of the things I've noticed that you said, I like that about how we can be janitors. I know I tell people sometimes jokingly, but humorously, I would say, but serious, that hey, I clean toilets for a living. So,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
oh yeah,
you can be like
oh
you said, you can be fly, you can be
yup,
yourself and do this business.
hmm
I like that.
yep. And if you look on my banner at the bottom, it says
Hmm.
just your local janitor. Like I'm humble about this industry because
Mm-hmm.
I know what it could do and what it has done in my life. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm just a local janitor. I'm nothing special. I'm your local janitor. But this industry, man, I'll put it up against the best of them. I'll put this, if you learn this industry, I'll put it up against the best of any industry out there. But again, I'm humbled to say I'm just your local janitor. That's it. That's it. That's all I do. I clean toilets, I clean floors, and I love what I do, man. I love what I do. I love what I do.
I can tell that. And
Oh
you
yeah.
think is that would you recommend? Is that important? You think in business to have passion and love what you're doing?
Oh yeah. The passion itself, I
Mm-hmm.
believe if you hate what you're doing, you're not gonna go all in. You're not going to
Mm-hmm.
go all in it because you really don't want to do it. But when you have that passion, like me, I get up most days 4 o'clock. And I've been doing that. I haven't missed a day of work, I think, other than vacation, maybe 5 years. And I work 7 days a week.
Yeah,
So that
same here.
alone tells you the passion that I have.
Yeah.
Man, I'm four. I might get done at 10 in the morning. I'm back at it at 3 in the afternoon until 11 at night. Or if I'm doing an overnight, some floors. The passion I have is out of this world, man, because I see the drive in this industry, and I try to show new people coming into the industry what it really
Mm-hmm.
takes. It takes the work. You got to put work in to be in this industry, and you can't say, oh, I'm gonna join that industry and I'm gonna get a bunch of subcontractors. It don't work that way because you got to make sure
Yeah.
things is going right to say you're gonna grow a business. You can land an account, but it's not about landing accounts. It's about keeping the accounts. And I have
Amen to that.
accounts that I had for 12 years, 13 years. We still have them. You know what I mean? So it's not about just landing accounts. And I think once you have that passion and you love what you're doing, then that's when you start just enjoy. I enjoy pushing the dust mile. I put my headphones in and I'm going. And somebody asked me the other day, "Well, you 13 years in, why you still?" Because I want to, not because of the money. It ain't about the money for me because I get a drive more so when I close another deal. That's the drive that it is for me. But man, I love to work out and pushing that
Mhm.
dust mop. I got my Nike app going. I'm counting my steps. I'm showing new guys how to do it. And like I said, it's I don't know if you know the movie 300, and it's
Mhm.
about
Yeah.
a leadership. And that movie, he didn't tell his guys, go do that, go fight them guys, go do that. Nah, he said, hey, come on. And that's what kind of leader I am. I'm the guy at 300. I'm like, listen, let's go strip and wax these floors. Let's go clean these buildings. And I'm going to clean it with you. And I'm not just sending you to go just do stuff. You know what I mean? So I think that's just a passion that I have in this industry to, help myself grow as well as anybody that would ask me for advice. They're gonna get this same type of passion and energy from me because that's how I am about it.
That's real. That's what I heard. There's a difference between a leader and a boss. Look between
Definitely.
the difference.
Definitely, and I'm no boss, man. I tell people all the time, I'm not your boss. I'm just the leader of the pack, man. I'm just the leader of the pack, and it's my job to make sure that we're all constantly working each and every day.
That's real. That's awesome. Also, and if you would have a question, if you can answer if some in the janitorial cleaning business is
hmm
pretty big.
hmm
What are some of the most profitable services that you offer that may help someone?
Um, as far as help someone get started, if they was
Yeah,
trying to get in,
yes, for it's getting started or where to land, where it may be to land at. Some of the more
um,
profitable services.
most profitable to me, in my opinion, would be stripping and waxing.
Hmm.
And that's something that you could do yourself if you don't have a team right away. Because if you get into janitorial,
Hmm.
you need a team, and janitorial is no joke. If you don't have a team, you're not going to survive in the janitorial. As far as just coming in, changing the trash, sweeping the floors, cleaning the bathroom, stuff like that. If you don't have a team, you probably won't last in that part of the industry. But if it's just you and maybe your brother or maybe another partner of yours, and y'all could get some good machines, y'all could do stripping and waxing and make some real good money. You know what I mean? And the work for stripping and waxing is nonstop because there's not a lot of people that want to do it. So
Yeah.
once you know how to do it, man, these companies will call you left and right. These companies, there's other cleaning companies that will call you left and right to come do theirs. You know what I mean? Because they
That's
don't want to
true.
do it or they
Yeah.
don't have the machines to do it. You know what I mean? So I would
Hmm.
say stripping and waxing for me, in my opinion, is the number one money maker in this industry.
Yeah, I agree. I think so. I think the profit margin is probably one of the best
Oh
in
yeah.
stripping and
Oh
waxing.
man,
Yeah.
you could make
Hmm.
big time money. Like I said, you if you're knocking them floors out and you know what you're doing and you got the right, and like I said, if you have the right equipment, that's 80% of the battle, if you ask me. You know what I mean? If you got, man,
Yeah.
you walk behind that machine and that thing is getting that stripper up like it's supposed to, man, to wax the floor ain't nothing. That's the easy part.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? It's getting that old wax up off of it. Stripping the floor is where
Mhm.
the and you know using that duty bug to get the edges and corners and stuff like that. But once you master
Mhm.
that part, man, it's unlimited money that could come to you. You know what I mean? If you could master stripping and waxing, man.
I agree. Yeah, I taught my
Yeah.
daughter. I think she was pretty young how to lay wax.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, stripping the stripping part it takes a little
That's
time and
oh yeah,
knowledge.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You gotta know what you're doing and hoping you don't slip and fall in the meantime.
Oh, you're right. Right. I did some training this past weekend. A little,
Oh,
one of
okay,
my yeah, one of my
yeah,
team members. I think this was his second time actually
okay,
running the machine.
okay, okay.
Um, let me ask you, as far as someone that may be thinking about getting in a business and from day one, what would be some of the equipment or supplies that you would recommend getting?
Um, like I said, if you're getting into the stripping and waxing,
Hmm.
um, most important piece I would say is an auto scrubber. You know, you
Hmm.
need that no matter which way you go. I will also throw in a propane buffer. Um,
Hmm.
the duty bug, you have to have a duty bug, you know, for the
Yeah,
edges and corners and stuff like that.
yeah.
Um, and as far as janitorial, you know, that's the a good dust mop, a good mop bucket. You gotta have that. And
Hmm.
or either or, you need a good mop bucket because I've used mop buckets where one of the wheels didn't work and you got to drag it across. It man, it's just a headache. But when your equipment
Yeah.
is functioning the right way, man, I promise you, man, it just makes the job that much easier for you to do it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I would say the main piece if you can afford an auto scrubber, I would get
Hmm.
that. And as you go up, you know, you got stripper machines, which are pretty much they're costly. We have a few of those, but they cost a lot more. Then you get into the riding,
They
all that
do.
kind of stuff. But I would say if you could get you a nice, and you could find them Craigslist, Facebook Market. People are always, you know, selling them, and you could get you one on there that could get you started for the main part because there's accounts that you could land just to go in and run your auto scrubber. You could make money that way just to go in, you know, change some trash bag, clean a small bathroom, and just run the auto scrubber throughout the store. They'll pay you for that alone. So you'll make your money back if you go ahead and make that investment.
Hmm. That's good. Yep, I agree. Definitely, that's very good advice.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. What would you like to see your business at in 10 or maybe 20 years from now?
10 or 20 years, I would say maybe in a few other states. We have
Hmm.
some stuff going on as of right now. We have a cleaning chemical we're about to come out with. This is my first
Okay.
time even talking about it right now. So
Oh
yeah, we're
man,
about to
thank
close.
you.
We're about to
Uh-huh.
close the deal on a cleaning chemical. So and that's gonna be called Shirley Chemical Company. So
Hmm.
be on the lookout for that. I definitely I'll
Definitely, man.
loop you in
Please,
with that.
yeah,
I'll
keep
send
us
I'll
informed and
send
thank
you
you for
some.
for debuting it here. Thank you.
Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
appreciate it, man. And we have some other stuff that we're going and we're about to get into. We were supposed to close the deal in Fort Myers, Florida. But you
Okay.
know, it got destroyed, so things are pushed
Yeah.
back as of right now. So I'm looking into getting into Miami.
Hmm.
So that's a wide open market down there, man. And later on, like years. like you're saying, my thing is just to get into other states, partner with other people that really want to have the passion to grow, link
Mm-hmm.
with them, give them the knowledge that I have, and let them do their thing. You know what I mean? And we just coach them and show them how it's done. And once they partner with us, man, they have a lifelong partner. So that's the thing, just to grow it into other states without going the franchise route. You know what I mean? I
Yes.
just want
Yeah.
to I want to get some good partners, people that really want to get into this industry and they see it on a long term. Like I said, it's not so much a short term, it's a long term because of the connections I have and which you would know when you have good partners with these national janitorial companies, man, you could
Amen.
land work anywhere in the country. You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's one of the perks of being a subcontractor for these national companies. I could go to Utah and land some jobs. I could go to Arizona and land some jobs. It don't matter where I'm at. So if I have a good partner in other states, and that's what I'm looking for now, is to just partner with other people and trying to grow their business as well as grow mine in other states.
I'm glad you touched on that. Sometimes I give I guess I don't know if it's advice or counseling, and people say how we about 5 years ago we expanded into Georgia, mainly in the
Okay.
Atlanta, Georgia area,
Okay.
and if it wasn't, I guess first, favor God first, foremost.
Definitely. Most definitely.
Yes, and secondly, a good relationship with some of these national contractors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because
It,
once
it,
they know
it,
you're
you're gonna
good,
have
man, they're gonna give it to you. They're gonna give you the accounts once they know you're
to.
good. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yep. If it wasn't for that, we
Mm-hmm.
we we couldn't have expanded our business.
Right.
So at least not so easily to another state.
Mm-hmm.
Totally another state. I have family in Atlanta, and
Okay.
we talked about it for about a year. Kind of flirted with the idea, and we was thank God we was in good grace with some of these companies. And I said, hey, we're going
Okay.
to expand our business, and it was, hey, there's 10 stores, there's 5 stores in this
Wow.
particular, and
Anything you want.
yeah,
Anything you
anything you
want.
want.
And people don't realize that, man. These national companies, they don't just
Hmm.
bid on 5 to 10 stores. They might have to take the whole East Coast. So if you're on the
Exactly.
East Coast and you build that rapport with one of the top people that's the yes and no person, people don't understand. But bro, they're gonna give you whatever accounts that you can handle, they're gonna give
Yeah.
it to you. So if you have other family member in another state and you could start your business there and they're reliable,
Hmm.
man, the opportunity's there because these people know, all right, he does good work, and we know wherever he's at,
Hmm.
he's gonna be on top of his game. So once they know that, man, it's green light for any state that you could build that relationship with.
Any state, any state.
Man,
You're
any
you're
state,
exactly right.
man. It don't matter where they're
Any
at.
state.
Any state.
And I tell people a lot of times, and it's a win-win because instead of them calling 60 people, 60 contractors,
Hmm.
this store, trash can got me. They call one person for that
Yup.
60 for those 60
Yup.
stores.
Yup. Yup.
Uh,
And then another thing that they like about that, for all
mhm.
60 stores, they only got to cut one check. You know what I
Right. I
mean?
never thought
They only
about
got
that.
to cut
You're
one check. They don't got to get an invoice from 30 to 60 different companies. They're going to cut this
right.
one check because this guy runs 60 different accounts for them. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So that's another part that them national companies like. The more you could take on, they love that even more. So if you can get one account and do 5 services in one account, and then you have 30 stores,
Hmm.
man, that's one check that they got to count, that they got to cut for all them. So they're dealing with one person. And they like that more than anything versus having to deal with a bunch of different contractors. So if you could take on more, man, listen, it's green light all over, all over.
That's correct. That's one of the things I try to tell people, and one of the that's helped us a lot too as well and
Hmm.
expand. So definitely. So it's awesome, man, to see to talk to like-minded people. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and like I said, I've come across people in the industry and they're doing well, but they
Hmm.
don't do subcontracting, and I respect it because there's so many avenues to the cleaning industry, and they all make money. They all make money. So if you chasing money and you in this industry, you're gonna make the money, but it depends on how far you want to grow.
Hmm.
And if you want to grow to other states, I mean, you can land accounts. You know what I mean? But when you get with these national companies, man. I'm a fan
Almost
of it.
endless.
I'm a fan
Right.
of it. You know what I mean? I'm a fan of it, and I can't
Absolutely.
tell other people not to, but I'm a fan of it. So
Same here. Um, and is any and let's see here. I got just a couple more questions if you have time.
okay, yep,
Uh-huh. I like to ask sometimes what are some of the books, or I usually say what are three books, but what just any number. What are books that has helped you expand and learn more and to help your business grow or you grow for.
um. One is Rich Dad Poor Dad, the cliche.
Mhm. I've been
Everybody has
hearing
read.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I've read that one, and another one he wrote was the cash flow quadrants, the four different sections of
Okay.
where you would be at in life as far as financially. So
Hmm.
reading that book was definitely eye opening because as you read the book you almost you got to put yourself in one of the categories. And the objective is in life and as you grow in business to get to the next category. You know what I mean? So that's one book that I think I read it about two or three times. And then nowadays I don't really even have time to read. I do the audio. You know what I mean? And
Same here. Yeah.
yeah, I listened to 50 Cent's book. I did that. I listened to a few Rick Ross's book. I listened to Rick Ross's book and I ordered it because I just wanted it in my catalog. So
Hmm.
um but the main book I would say that helped me the most was Rich Dad Poor Dad Cash Flow Quadrants. That book is out of this world when your mind is set on where are you in business, the
Hmm.
employee or business or the investor or self-employed. You just will find out where you are and then you keep reading on how to get to the other areas in business. So that's a decent book right there.
Awesome. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. And if you would tell those who's listening and those now and later how to they can follow you on social media, and if they're in your area and they need servicing, how they can contact you.
Definitely. Well, if you're trying to contact me on Facebook, it's under my actual name, which is Antoine Shirley. Instagram is two spelled out TWO underscore bros underscore cleaning. Also, if you type my name in Instagram, it'll come up. Um, our number, if you're in my area, my number is 484-529-0292. We could come out, we get free estimates, stuff like that. My email is two brothers cleaning LLC at yahoo.com. Yep,
Awesome, man. Thank you for this
yep.
opportunity.
No
Is there
problem, bro. I
anything else that you'd
appreciate
like
it.
to say?
Nah, bro, let's link up, man. Let's link up, man.
Definitely.
Seriously. I love what you're doing. I'm proud to see you doing good, man. We're gonna create a bond, man, and grow this thing, man. I love what you're doing. Love this podcast, man.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. Definitely gonna have to
No
link
problem.
up.
Yeah,
Definitely gonna have to link up, man.
yeah.
Doing some great things together, man. I
Appreciate you. Definitely,
appreciate you.
man.
Uh,
Definitely. All
hey,
right,
bless
bro.
you and thank you
Yes,
for your
sir.
time.
Yes, sir. God bless, bro.
And
Thanks,
God
man.
bless you. Hey, thank
Yes.
y'all for joining in. Thurman Clean Freaks Podcast, hosted by S&M Cleaning Service. Y'all have a blessed day. Peace.